Today, we are going to sow seeds in our GreenStalk using the seed houses for protection. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I am over at the neighbors, and we are going to direct sow seeds into this GreenStalk this morning. One of the issues that I have with this GreenStalk right here is that I have squirrels that like to come and leave gifts behind. They like to dig out these pockets when there's not much in them and leave their peanuts behind. Yes, I said peanuts. My neighbor likes to feed the squirrels peanuts, and they decide to take my garden and over here at my neighbor, their garden, dig up anywhere they can hide their peanuts for the winter. But when they do that, they dig, see, we just filled this up yesterday. There's already a hole down there in that 1, 2. So they've already dug out 2, 3 holes trying to find a place to put their peanuts. I am going to direct sow into this GreenStalk, but I am going to use the little seed houses that GreenStalk has now. So they have these little seed houses, and that I'm wondering if this seed house will give me the protection I need until that pocket fills up and get healthy. Because once these pockets are full and plants are, bulging out of the pockets, the squirrels leave it alone. The only time that they dig it up like this is when they think there's nothing in there and it's a perfect place for them to leave their peanuts. So I have 2 sets. Do I have 2 sets? Uh-oh. I gotta go find the rest of them. I think I have 2 sets of 6. So we'll put 6 on these bottom 2 tiers. And that's the first thing that I think the squirrels are going to see before they think to come up to these top tiers. And so we'll put seed housing on those, and we won't put any on the ones up above. And we'll just see if we get a better germination that gets to stay around for a while, if you know what I mean. But I need to go find the rest of my seed houses. I done laid them down somewhere. Let me go find them. So we thought we were going to get to this yesterday, y'all, but we ran out of time. And y'all, it got hot. It got hot. Yeah, I like to say it got hot. So we did get the soil in here, and already overnight, they've already dug out the soil. All over the ground, there's the soil that we just put in last night or yesterday sometime. Where was that other one? There it is. Let's put the dirt back in there. I use Happy Frog soil in my GreenStalks, and that's all I use in my GreenStalk. I don't use anything else. I find that the Happy Frog does better. There's not as much, I call it mulch. Like, it's wood pieces that aren't broken down. And that's what I find in pretty much every other product that's out there. So GreenStalks, only get Happy Frog. Actually, y'all, I only put Happy Frog in everything now. But anyway, we got the soil in yesterday. And then today we're going to come around and we're going to fertilize each pocket. I'm using Garden Tone today. My preferred is Dr. Earth, but you got to use what you can get your hands on, especially at this time of the season for me anyway. It's very difficult to find anything in the big box stores late in September, at least where I live in zone 6B, Southwest Ohio. A few years ago, y'all, I went to the nursery in August. I think it was August. And I said, hey, do you have any cool season starts? You got cabbage, you got broccoli. And they laughed at me. They was like, no, we don't have any of that. I'm like, but it's time to start fall planting. And I said, I can grow them in the spring and I can grow them in the fall. And then they told me that it doesn't sell. They said most home gardeners done gave up by the time the fall gets here. And so nobody would buy the plants. So they don't start them anymore. So the only way I can get fall plants is to start them myself, which that's what I do now. I don't buy that stuff if I don't have to anymore. But I just thought that was interesting. He laughed at me, y'all. I'm like, I said something funny? Apparently I did. All right, I have all of the pockets fertilized, and there's flowers back there, so that's why I can't get on that side where you can see what I'm doing very well. But now I'm just gonna massage that fertilizer into every pocket. There is a line on the inside of your GreenStalk that tells you to fill the pocket up to here. So basically, fill the pocket all the way up. That's what it's telling you to do. So we just mixing it in. And it's hard to keep the pockets all the way full when you got squirrels taking it, huh? Yeah, I know. Such is life. There's always something going on. So for the first time that I can remember, y'all, my all of my cameras started going off last night about 4 o'clock. No, yeah, 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock. I don't forgot now. I have to go back and check. And for the first time in a very long time, a family of deer came through. Here they are entering the garden, trying to decide which way to go as they were looking around for something to eat. And then they finally made their decision. That family of deer came through and they stayed in my garden, I think every bit 45 minutes, according to the cameras, the way they were going off. They stripped all of my, what was it? A couple pots that had flowers in it. They stripped all the flowers out of that. They pulled flowers out of another pot as well. But y'all, they didn't touch my green stalks at all. Didn't touch the green stalks at all. And then the way I have my garden set up, I try to put a perimeter around it so that they don't want to go in, because deer won't go in someplace that they can't find their way out. So they only hit the outside of my garden, which is great. But by that time, I have lights, solar lights that light up my garden. And by that time, the solar lights had gone out as well. So it made them step into just the outskirts of my orchard area. Still didn't go all the way into the main garden, so that's great. But only thing they had a taste for, it looks like, were flowers. And that's quite all right, because it's the end of the season. They were dead anyway. That might be why they pulled them out. You need to clean your flowers up. Let me help you. I think I've mixed this up all the way around and I've talked your ear off enough. Let's talk about what we're going to plant, y'all. I got my seeds down on the ground getting wet. Ooh, okay, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. I had 6, but somewhere I done lost some seeds. But we're going to do a variety of seeds. I'm going to do 3 green types of lettuce, and then I'm going to do some with a little flair. So we're going to do dynamite, and here's the picture up here of what that's going to look like. I'm going to do Hanson improved crisp head, and I'm so far away, I will make sure I put the pictures up here above. And that's a heading lettuce. The dynamite is a very loose-headed lettuce as well. And then we're going to do Lantus Winter. Now, Lantus Winter, it does better once it really cools off. That's why it's called winter, Lantus Winter. It's a very loose-heading lettuce. It's more leaf than heading. But it's nice and cream and crisp, quite delicious. And it lasts longer in my garden than anything else when that frost sets in. We're also going to do Pablo. Pablo, I think, is quite beautiful with the little reds on the outside leaves and everything, but it reminds me of iceberg lettuce. The taste is similar to iceberg lettuce as well. And then we're going, and that's where that flair I was talking about. That's the Pablo. And then we're going to do Outrageous. Y'all, this is the first year I've grown Outrageous, and y'all, I love it. I love it. These leaves get the most beautiful deep, deep hues of reds and purples and blacks. And somebody told me they grew this on the space station. Now, I don't know, but it was a very nice growing lettuce for my garden. And that's what we're going to put in here. There's a couple already over here. I planted these a while ago and they survived the squirrels. So this is flashy butter gem in the top. And when I plant my lettuce, I plant it per the seed pack. This seed pack says cover with 1/4 inch of soil. And so that's what we're going to do. Now watch I mess up and I put more than one in a pocket. For my lettuce, I like to also make sure that I put plenty of seeds in the pocket too. I prefer to overseed and then remove them versus not putting but 1 or 2 seeds in a pocket. So we are going to put in, yep, I knew I was going to do it. I forgot where I put seeds. We're going to do 5 or 6 seeds in each pocket. That's the plan. Okay, here we go. All right, I have seeds in every pocket. I usually bring in soil. Let me go grab my soil. So I brought some Happy Frog soil here, and we are going to just lightly cover each of the pockets because this is lettuce. It doesn't have to be buried very deep. I hope I brought enough over here because I don't want to have to go back. So let me get these pockets filled up. I know there's not much to this video today, but anytime I'm in the garden, I like it when you're here with me. We have some nice conversations. I enjoy talking to you. Now, I don't know if this seed house thing's going to work or not with the squirrels, but we're going to give it a try. Now, I had to wait for my neighbor to come back because she's been traveling. I've been traveling. Everybody's been traveling. But anytime I start seeds, I like to make sure that we are keeping those pockets nice and moist. And Miss Pam always does that for me. So we wanted to wait and start this project when I knew I was going to be in town and she was going to be in town. Miss Pam's so good. She's already cleaned her garden up, y'all. She puts me to shame. She's already got all the beds cleaned out. She'll be tucking them away for the winter here when she starts mulching the leaves and everything. Let me get this done and I will bring you back before I put these seed houses on. We got to do that together. Okay, they're in. Now we just need to put our seed houses in. And if you recall, I said I am going to focus them just on the bottom. These seed houses create a little greenhouse effect, if you want to call it that. It's kind of like a greenhouse effect. You put it in here. Let's put it over here where you can see it. You put it in like this right here. And then it kind of protects that pocket and it gives it that little greenhouse effect. But I'm going to use it to keep the squirrels out until my plants get established. That's what I'm going for. Before we do that step, I need to water the pockets in. I usually take a hose and just kind of water each of the pockets in. But my neighbor got some water here for me. So we will water them in with the watering can. It's still very early in the morning, even though I know they're already up and about and around and doing things. I don't want to have to go up to the house and turn the water on. I don't want to scare them. I always give my soil just a little bit of a pat, keep the seeds from moving around, especially when you're doing something like with a watering can, what I'm doing today. The soil was nice and moist, so I believe she had watered the pockets already, either late last night or this morning. I think I'm all the way around. Now we'll put our little seed houses on, and they just sit right on the pocket here. Oh, that's it. There we go. Sits right on the pocket. And I'm only doing the bottom 2 layers. Oh, that one's not on right. There we go. The 2 outsides go on the outside of the pocket, and that middle piece goes on the inside of the pocket. So here it is here. Inside, 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 these 2 on the outside. So I'm putting the outside, or let's start with the middle. Let's put the middle in, and then it kind of just falls in place. Let's do it that way. You can buy these, I think a set is 6. So when you buy them, you're buying 1 tier at a time. You got to get creative to handle those squirrels. There we go. So seed houses are in for the bottom 2 tiers. The top 3, no seed housing, and we will see if the squirrels dig them out or not. And we'll see if this improves the protection for our GreenStalk. And if it does, y'all, I'm going to start using seed houses anytime I start from seed in my GreenStalks. Well, y'all, that's it for today. We are just sowing seeds in late September in one of our GreenStalks because the fall season's here and we need to be growing lots of leafy greens. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, turning on notifications, and above all else, please give me a thumbs up and like the video so it can help get the video out there to others. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you choose to hang out with me, Kim, at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.